John Constantine continues his adventures in the pages of Constantine the Hellblazer issue 1. Now, this story basically doesn't have anything to do with the previous Constantine book that existed within the New 52. It almost takes like a darker, more faithful adaptation to the original character from the old school Hellblazer books from like the 80s and 90s and stuff like that, and it kind of sets the mood straight from the get-go. I mean, I think the first 3 or 4 pages or so kind of establishes the character of Constantine really well, and it kind of gets into what John is and like who he is, and like it really captures his voice well, I think, and that was a big point of it, that the book actually did well. I think that the art actually very much complemented that. It kind of had that sort of old school Hellblazer vibe to the art. You know, it's kind of like this distorted, kind of squared imagery and stuff like that. So, you know, I really enjoyed that about it, and I'll talk a little about the story briefly here, that this demon named Blythe kind of returns to John's life and wants his help in taking care of a problem that's happening in her own kind of nightclub that she's trying to get going. And basically it turns out to be this big ruse and stuff like that. It's almost like a double crossing. I don't want to spoil what happens per se, but it's pretty interesting, and it kind of really goes back to what I said about the character of John Constantine. It like really speaks volumes about his character and like who he is. You know, he's always looking out for himself basically, and that was pretty cool. And like I said, that this issue actually does take reference to the larger DC universe. Like, he directly says that there are superheroes in the world and stuff, which is something that I don't believe the previous Constantine series in the New 52 did. So, you know, all in all, this is a pretty good read. The story wasn't too particularly like amazing, like it was like the plot of this issue wasn't blowing me away, but it keeps me interested to see where they're going to go with this take on the character, which is proving to be much more faithful than the original run that came before it. And, you know, as we know, that Constantine was cancelled on NBC, but if you're a fan of that character and you kind of want to get back into the world of Constantine and that kind of mystical, supernatural elements of the DC universe, I highly recommend you check this book out, because you'll probably be pleasantly surprised. And as always, if you like this review, check back next month on our website, where we'll have all of our comprehensive written reviews following all of the DCU and Marvel titles. Sound off with your thoughts on this issue down below.